Hello, hello.
Haven't seen you for a while. We have been in touch, but I have not seen you for like I don't know how long time. And I love the music. You the flower duets. I actually sang it with my friend years ago. It's perfect. The music is always perfect.
Blessing,
So
blessing. Yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. When did you sing it, you said?
the flower duets,
When
when
did
you
you?
announced the
Hmm.
live, you
Yeah, when
use
did
the
you
music.
sing that?
It's beautiful, isn't it?
When?
It's
When did you sing it?
It was here in Prague maybe 11 years ago with my friend from the National Theater because I used to sing in the National Theater here in Prague, and we used to sing it every concert, like in the end at the end of the concert, because it's a very known piece. Everybody uses it for advertisements, so it's very well known even for the people who don't listen to opera music. It's beautiful.
Hmm. Wow, so is that memory still fresh, Renata, when you sang it
It
together?
certainly is, because I always wanted to sing opera, and she was already singing at the National Theatre, and we used to study conservatory here in Prague, and we met for this concert, and I was like, oh my God, I sing with one from the National Theatre. And then she's a very close friend of mine, and it reminded me of that situation. Thank you for that. Hi,
Mhm.
hi everybody.
Wow. Renata, how young were you? And shout out to Perry as well. I see
I just
Mowgli's up in here.
say,
Perry,
Terry
so
House, you can
much
join
love.
us. Please join us if you feel like it.
How young were you when you started, or when you even had that dream of being an opera singer? Like, how young were you?
Well, I had a dream. I actually came from after the college. I went to the Great Britain, to London, and I just studied the language and met some friends. And I went there as an au pair to the Great Britain. And then I realized that I've always been singing with the guitar, with the accordion. I've been always studying music, and people were always like inviting me to sing at the parties. And I was like naturally entertaining people ever since I was born, like dancing on the table, like making up the poetry and being a comedian. Like all of us, you are the same, so I don't have to explain much. And then when I was 17, I met my friend from the elementary school, and he was like, I will take you to Prague to see my cantor, to see my teacher, and he teaches music and singing, and I'm really keen into operatic singing. And he came to my mom's house, and sang some opera, random opera piece. And I was like, oh my God, it's so strange. He was like shouting this opera stuff, and I don't want to sing that. I don't even like it. And I went to that place, to Prague, to the Old Town Square, and that was a very well-known professor, educated man. He was like 75. His house full of, like operatic music and beautiful, and the piano, grand piano there, which I love. Ever since I remember, like walking, I was always searching for those instruments because it fascinated me.
Hmm.
And then at that time, I was helping at the farm here in this small place. I was working on 83 hectares of land with my father. And
Mm.
I came there, and he was like, sing something for me. And I don't even want to become a singer. I just came here because my friend told me to do so. And he was like,
Hmm.
checking my voice, saying that I have a good range, nothing special, just normal voice. Mezzo soprano, actually, which is something completely different that I do. And the funny thing is, like not knowing opera, he was like, what would you like to sing? And I said,
Hmm.
country music. That's the only thing I knew. And that was like, I might like it, as being a country singer, doing that. So he was like, maybe you'll change your mind after a while. And I was 17. And then I decided to go to London. I came after 3 years. I worked for some like expedition air company for some American people here in Prague because at that time there were not many people who spoke the language. I was very young, like 18 plus, and I felt so like sophisticated, with the language and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
then felt like it's not for me. It's like acting, being the manager or graphic designer, whatever. It's not for me because you can playing theater and getting money for it, but I preferred being on the stage when the people
Mm-hmm.
know that you are actually playing the theater. And I didn't want to use my talent for making money for the company. I just didn't feel the resonance.
Mm-hmm.
And the people were very rude because I was the youngest one there and I was bossing people around and they didn't like it. And then I decided, no, I'm going to meet that man again after 3 years. I'm going to study. I'm going to go to study conservatory. And I just felt like, let's just discover that path.
Yeah.
And going for 1 year, I was taking the lessons, and every lesson he was like letting me listen to the great singers. He
Mm-hmm.
just sat down with me. He took the time. He gave me his house keys. I could sleep there, listen to the music, listen to other people, singing and all the lessons, and especially him talking about it. Like, what is it to be a real musician? What is it to be honest with the music, with the he taught me all about it. He was also a yogini. He was like breathing and all the philosophy. He was a guru
Mm-hmm.
and helping out people. So yes, I fell in love with the music, with the ability to express emotions through the voice, with the languages, with the virtuosity of the high notes, and I didn't have them, so I wanted to sing like that. I used to love Ella Fitzgerald and everybody who was like doing those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
opera was even better. It was like, oh my God. And then I was like, I want to do that. And it was so challenging because my voice is not naturally high. And I don't do anything but high arias. So I reached technically after so many years that point. And that's I just once I felt in love with this kind of music, I was like, I am enough. All the directors are always like, you have so much talent, you do your thing, you don't need any advices, you are too much even for the opera, so it's fine, don't worry
Wow.
about it. And I think I was born to do it because it's me. I don't have to pretend. I am
Right.
my it's not my dream. I just found something that entertained the physicality of it and the aspect of learning languages and studying history, the real history. So it's very, very nourishing.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing how it came into being. Even if it's not your dream, it feels like it's a passion. It feels like it's very purposeful. It fulfills you and it fills you up in many ways. It really feels like it's feeding you. It gives back to you as the more that you give to it. Yeah. Yeah.
And ever since I was like 12, I already was appearing at the national Channel 1 here for the kids, always with some instruments. I'm like naturally entertaining people forever, ever since I was born. But I never thought of it as a profession. That just came after that I can
Right.
actually like live doing it and
Right.
be happy. And it's very challenging. It's not easy, but it's something I can't do anything else. I tried. I did so many things. I used to, I have like the diploma for economy and marketing and management, but nothing satisfies me as much, and I cannot even escape from it. And it's challenging because how can you pay the bills with this if you don't want to do show business? I always refused to do show business, some high notes for good money. I don't do that. I do art and just the roles and the things that I resonate with and I work with. So I can like study one role for like 3 to 8 years before I feel ready. And
Wow.
I am able to pay my bills. I don't do anything else. Like for 15 years, I've been able to survive with a small kid, with a child, and I'm proud of myself because it's not
Yeah,
easy.
you should be. I mean, wow, Renata, that level of dedication, that level of focus and commitment. You said 3 to 8 years before you even feel ready?
Yes, because I think he was like a little bit exaggerating the preparation. I am becoming even like more precise and demanding because um, I don't want to scratch only the surface.
Hmm.
If I am singing like the Casta Diva, the Norma from Bellini, I really need to know about the druids, the first druids, and especially Perry here is helping me so much to be even like more profound with it. And so many people I meet nowadays. And I think it's part of the wisdom that is coming over the past 3 years to all of us with the DNA opening. I was prepared for it because I am already studying those things for so long time because you have to go to the roots of the role. Otherwise, you're not transmitting it. You can have the most beautiful voice in the world. If you're just singing the notes, you're not transmitting anything. I think you might be, but you're just showing off. And I want to be the best slave of the music. And I don't want to let people see the challenge. I don't want to let them to see my veins and to go to the high notes. I don't want them to see the physical challenge that we all face when we sing very high and very long phrases. So I first have to get it, the notes technically, perfectly the music, and then the words, and they go against the music. If you want to sing like using just the sound of it, that's one thing. And if you want to express the words, it goes really against the flow. So it's very challenging to get it all together for the people to say it's so natural for you, and it's not natural. You just study one phrase for 14 days, like
Mm.
one phrase to get all the German there, or the French, or the English, not much English, especially Italian, but also Latin. If you don't speak it, it's not a spoken language. So, just I want them to understand the words. I don't want them to hear the average operatic word. I just really want them to get the sound and the words. And singing opera is nothing, it's not like speaking
Mm.
languages. You really have to work with the vocals, and you get understood after 10 meters and more. So you
Mm.
just have to point all the syllables. You have to work with the resonance. This is all about breath and frequency. It really is. And you just work on it, and it's never perfect.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's, I am really like busy perfecting a certain role at a time, and everybody, you are home, you're just singing, you're not doing anything. And then after the concert, even my colleagues from big theaters, are you giving lessons? How do you do it? It's so easy for you. No, I just do it every day, and I'm trying. I'm never satisfied myself, but it's so beautiful. I love it. I love doing it.
Mm. Yeah. Love, I feel the love coming from you, even as you express love for it and your love of it and your love with it, and how it's brought you to this place of even deeper love and deeper passion for it. There's a saying that you have to work hard to make it look easy.
Exactly.
And why do you feel like, Renata, that you don't want people to see the veins and you don't want people to see the challenge and the hard work? Why do you not?
Because I don't want them to get disturbed. I want them to get the pure message from the composer.
Yeah.
Because I have to understand first why it has been composed, the piece, the whole role, the piece. And it's not like before knowing this thing, I was like studying my part. I didn't even know what's going on. I just went to the stage, sang my part, the duets, and the whole. I knew what is it about, but I never went deep into other characters enough, because in opera we don't do that. We are not actors. mostly people are just, they are happy if they get all those notes right, all those high notes. You have to, it's like sports, and you have
Mm.
to be perfect because nobody is waiting for you. Can, there is no place for improvisation. You cannot improvise. It's
Wow.
timed, and you cannot, even one small mistake and they don't call you again because there have like so many others who sing it the same, and we have all those big stars who has done it better because they were trained. Nowadays everybody wants to be instantly ready and nobody gives it that time. So it's normal that after a big performance they can't sing for 1 week. And before, when they were traveling with the carriages, with the horses, they sang like three different roles in two different roles in one day, and they changed locations. It was different because the people were like horses themselves. They really did do the work, and they were not let on the stage before they were ready. Nowadays, they just use the material of the voice, and then after 5 years, there's you can't hear about them anymore. It's not like acting. So if the acting is involved, you really have to be very informed,
Mm.
simply saying, and you really have to take it seriously. Otherwise, you will lose that voice because it's not natural. It's there is nothing natural about operatic singing. You sing without the microphone. You sing for 10,000 people, and you have to be understood. And and the orchestras are always bigger. The tuning is always higher. We know that the frequency is coming from 440 to 442, 445 sometimes. So the chords are getting this challenge to do something so unnatural. The orchestras are so loud, so you have to go through it, and you are simply damaging the voice if you don't know how to use it, if you're not trained enough to use the body instead of the voice, because the tonsils, the vocal cords, are so fragile, and you can lose it once and that's it for all. It's very, very dangerous. So that's
Wow.
why so many operatic people don't even act, don't even bother to do something on the stage because it's challenging enough just to be there and do it. That's why it's so strange and stiff. And
Mhm.
I different because that was always my aim, because I did like I act, I am an actress. I did this for 10 years in the National Theatre Prague. I sang also, but I discovered this path to express through the body and the voice. It's even more challenging, but I don't want to be the living instrument, but I really want to live the role. And that's why people are telling me that I'm like, the Maria Callas and all those big stars, because they used to do that. But they had different like conditions. They
Mm.
spent 2.5 months on the stage, perfecting each movement. Now they just call you, you go there, you sing it. That's why you have to know it by mind. No rehearsals, maybe one or two. You don't even know your colleagues. And it's like sports. They
Mm.
buy you, and if you are not like, the goals for us are the high notes. I don't know why they are not so difficult, but still, I love it.
Yeah.
I miss it because I have not been on the big stages for a while because of
Mm.
that's happening. So I miss
Wow.
it much.
Wow. Nada, the way that you express and painting pictures, right now with your words and just illustrating the level of specificity and the level of attention to detail everything has to be. It feels like walking on a tightrope.
Mhm.
At any point you could fall, you could slip, you could stumble, and then that be it. And
Yes.
where do you find the balance when it comes to striving for perfection, and at the same time you're saying it's never perfect. It's never perfect, but you're always striving for that perfection. And if somebody doesn't hear it the way that they want it, then you don't get called back. So where's the balance?
I don't know. I'm trying to find it. But when I started with urine therapy, I stopped being against the process. I mean, I stopped hating my mistakes, and that's why I started enjoying the path.
Mm.
And it's really thanks to this spiritual approach towards everything I do. And I mean, I've tried so many things like exercising. I work with the breath. I thought I knew myself, which is impossible. We cannot know the presence that's coming. We never know. But still, when I started with urine therapy, I began to enjoy the physicality and life
Mm.
itself. So I think I stopped. That's the balance. Orin is my balance.
Really? How the water
Yes,
keep the balance?
ever
Yeah.
experienced so harmonized and like happy, inner happiness. Even with the mistakes, I talk to myself. I used to judge so much everything I did. So I just work with myself, doing my exercises, all those like warming up the voice and working on the, and always like, no, no, this. I was like approaching myself differently. And now I'm like, okay, that's fine for the for today. Be gentle. Okay, that's you beautiful. I never ever gave a compliment to myself while working, and it's different. I'm like loving this being through the process, and
Mm.
then I do a mistake. I laugh at my mistakes. This is something new. And I think it's because of that. Also because of not eating certain things. And after the dry fasts, I did with Terry, and after all those meetings, beautiful people like you and everybody I know here on the internet, that I'm slowly meeting you all. I need to go to America, and yes, it's that.
Wow.
How about you? Talk about you a
So
little.
just embracing that, just being able to laugh at yourself. There's a saying, Renata, I'm sure you've heard this before, that the one who is able to laugh at themselves will never run out of things to laugh at. You
Mhm.
know, we'll never run out. Like we'll always be entertained
Yes.
when we do that. Yeah.
And also, I'm now with my family after 3 years, and I'm just realizing, thanks to this path that I'm taking now, I was a little worried. How is it gonna be? If it's gonna be like always, like after 3 days with my mom, I'll be arguing and all those old emotions. I didn't even want to open it, certain discussions and stuff. And I am so harmonized that that's the only proof that the all the challenges and all the same situations I am approaching differently, and I am a different person, and they
Wow.
laugh for my mistakes, and I laugh with them for the first time. Yes, that's true. I always get lost. I just dropped somebody after my mom's birthday. I was the only one not drinking alcohol and not eating, and they didn't really realize everybody was having fun. And then I was dropping people. I just forgot all the where they live, because I'm not living here for a long time. And you came back home. That's nice. We thought that you were gonna be in Poland, and I laughed with them because I am not being challenged by anything they say anymore. So maybe it was always me who was
Mm.
feeling, I don't know, but it's different. And they are
Mm.
like, oh my God, you've changed. The
Yeah.
only my mom knows about that I'm drinking my urine, and she said, "Please don't put it on the table. Don't say it to anyone." And then now, when I posted that glass, they didn't even realize.
Yeah. 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 They're identical. They're identical. Yeah. You side by side, it's the same color. You know.
Isn't it? Yeah, and it's a different pH. It's much healthier. They said you
So.
have energy. You look good. I was like, thank you. They don't want to hear why. I
Mhm.
say it to my mom, but she is like, please don't say it to my friends.
So, Renata, what was your process to get to that level of clarity and then that level of purity where you can put it side by side like that and not tell the difference? You know?
Ever since from the beginning, because I was like, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was drinking juices and it was a little greenish, but always pure. I mean, it's when I am on my dry fast, that's the only time when it's a little darker. My urine
Right.
is,
Very concentrated, right?
hmm but I
Yeah.
love it. even more because I know it's something that's going on in the body, and I'm healing and purifying even more. And I feel the hormones and the tranquility. I don't know if this word exists in English.
Mhm.
How do you say it in English?
Tranquility, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel it. I'm like, my sister gave me some, because the boys, when they get together, my sister's kids and my son, they do stupid things, they just mess around. And she just, oh, you let him do that. And then I drank the orange, and I felt her emotions in it. It was like strange. And I can really like tell now that even the people around you are messing up with your liquids. Like
Wait. You felt her emotions?
in my orange when I tasted it.
What?
Uh-huh. Because I feel the spiritual essence of my liquid, of my elixir,
Uh-huh.
and talking to me. I told you before, it's looking after me, and I was like, it's not the food, it's the energetic fields that you are frequenting. It's like I thought, oh my God, because I'm not eating. I'm eating just the fruits that grow here in the garden, like some cherries, some black currants I ate today, and some raspberries. And it's not the food. It's much more the fields of the
Mm.
people, like the emotions and the frequencies. Oh my God. And
Wow.
that's why somebody, when they are like breatharian, liquidarians, they can gain weight or
Mm.
lose weight. And
Right.
covering for myself, everybody is different. I'm not saying that this is something, that's my experience, but I'm just now discovering new things because in my place where I live in Milan, I more or less know all the people around me. Everything is more or less the same. I'm living with my son. I'm alone. And here I am really like, I am present and experiencing who is who, and how this person has always been. And then before coming, I was like thinking, should I eat with them and play with those densities and stuff? And then I decided, no, I'm not gonna touch the alcohol. I'm not gonna break my habits because of that. I am just gonna bring my light or whatever I'm experiencing. I'm gonna and bring my energy to this place. I'm not gonna be like them just to get into old arguments and everything. And it's working. I'm
Mm.
not talking much. For the
Hmm.
first time, I'm the quiet one. I'm the one who is listening. And I'm just like, oh my God, they're amazing. It was it was me maybe because I was always like trying to get the attention, trying to teach somebody something, and they know me. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, and they love me, I think. Of course they do. And I thought that it's going to be challenging, and it's not so far. I've been here for almost a week. I've met most of my best friends, and they find me relaxed and full of harmony. They are asking me stuff. Most of them are informed about the urine therapy because they asked me what is it, and I said it, and they want more information. They are trying to get the Czech translation of the elixir of life, the water of life, because in Czech it's called elixir of life. And I'm spreading the information.
Wow. Wow. So you stopped trying to teach when you were around like your family, when you're around your folks. You stopped trying and you started letting the lesson seep in. You started listening again.
Yes,
Wow.
and just
Wow.
being, and by being also asked.
Hmm.
Because normally I was just speaking without being asked. And this is something new too. I am listening and not even quoting, not reacting. I'm giving space. That's very new.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
like
Wow.
that.
And what is the difference, Renata, in the reaction that you see in others when you come from that space instead of coming from the other place?
They are calm and they are like letting me know themselves much better, because maybe they felt always challenged um, by me being so all over the place, always. Like I always like entertained them, took the accordion, the guitar, because I thought that I have to give them something. Like I have to make them laugh and smile and feel a certain way and be entertained. And
Wow.
now listening to their problems, the health problems, and most of them have been asking me about stuff because you look so vital and you are dancing all the night. How you do it? And I don't speak much, but they ask me more, and I'm always like looking at the reaction, not exaggerating, not giving them too much information at once. I'm trying. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm still myself. I'm
Yeah.
also realizing that it has not been easy living with me. This is something that I needed to see, because when you are expansive and like uh, so much light can harm somebody sometimes.
Wow. You know, it's so interesting listening to this perspective, Renata, because when we talk about, even what people call the pleasing others, that was a big thing that I dealt with coming up. And the want to entertain, to be entertaining, do you
Mm.
feel like that pull, within you, like how have you been able to compensate that and just be? Because there's a lot of people that even on these devices, even on social media, they feel that pull to want to, you know, be of service in that way, or like you said, to please people, want to make sure people are having fun, make sure people are happy, instead of just being content in themselves.
I think it's all about the insecurity that you really want to them to tell you that you are enough, just to get some feedback. Once you are not there wanting something from somebody, you actually, it's enough just being, it's enough to bring you the way you are there, and you don't have to open your mouth. So if you are secure and harmonized, which is not the natural state, I'm not saying that I don't get angry, but if you are really honest with what you are at a certain moment, that's enough. And I don't need anybody to tell me, you've changed, you look good. No, I know who I am most of the time. And as I say, I mean, if we laugh now, it's not because I do something entertaining. It's just because we laugh at my mistakes. And it's so funny. Because we all know them. That's something we have in common. And nobody wants to, you know, be the center of attention. So instead of me singing or being a comedian, I am. And I say that, yes, I found my way home, and we laugh, we all laugh. So I am entertaining people by being the way I am, and it's fine.
Yes.
Everybody's
Yeah.
happy about it. It's not their turn.
Wow. How lovely is that? We're talking about how, laughing at the mistakes and being able to see that because we have things in common, seeing the commonalities that we have with each other, the similarities, because, like you said, it's never perfect. So perfection is not relatable, you know? We don't find perfection relatable because, it's not. So
Perfect.
that's, yeah,
Yeah, it's just an illusion,
right.
because you have to be a machine if you want to be perfect, and just to a certain point. So perfection is a stupid illusion that we want to apply on a human being, on a living organism. It's stupid to want to be perfect. It really is stupid. So if we
Mm.
get rid of that illusion to be perfect, we just have, if we want to become good at something, we can train and we can try to reach a certain level or whatever we put in our mind. But being perfect is not possible. What is it? Because once you reach a certain point, you realize that it's nothing, and you have to reach even higher point.
There's
So
always another. Yeah, it's like the what did they say? The peak of one mountain is the bottom of the next. You know, it keeps going, it keeps going. There's no end. There's no. It's never satisfied. Yeah.
exactly, you should better start being satisfied. So if you look at your posts or videos or whatever 10 years back, you are, oh my God, I was so young and beautiful. And then you are realizing after some years, appreciating yourself after a certain period of time. Why don't you appreciate yourself right now? Right now. And you just appreciate that you are alive. And I'm trying to pass this message to my sister who feels like fat and stuff. Like, you're so beautiful. And she felt so good because, oh, no, no, don't lose any weight. You are perfect. You are vital and healthy and vibrant. And she just blossomed in front of my eyes. It was beautiful. The same with my mom. Because they were like, all their lives, they talk about diet and about losing weight. And, it's like, no, just accept the body, the skin,
Mhm.
the eyes that see, the nose that can smell. What more do you want? If you're looking at celebrities, most of them are not even female. It's a trick. It's a theater. The people who you see on the screen, sometimes the beautiful females are males and vice versa. So this is nothing to be compared to. Life is here. You have this body, this beautiful vehicle, and appreciate it. All your lashes, all your cells, the membranes, the living organism that you have at your disposal, at your hands, and you can really experience life through it. You have like two hands, which is beautiful. Some people have one hand or no leg, whatever. Some people don't see. We are all different. So accept and appreciate that you can live this life through this beautiful body, whatever shape, whatever color. It's so amazing.
It is. It is. It is. And that's so beautiful just to hear the words and just to accept that and to absorb that because that's an affirmation, not just for myself, I know for someone else. And as well, Renata, when you talk about the the weight distribution, the weight gain, the weight loss, did you come to realize that there was a certain point at times when your perception would change about who you saw in the mirror, that the weight would change as well?
Yes, so many times. I went through anorexia and bulimia when I was 18 and 19,
Okay.
5 years vomiting when I was a teenager. I went through like periods when I was very skinny and feeling so fat. You can't imagine it because it's a mental problem. Through the period when I was eating so much, I had like 20, 30 kilos more. And I was like always not satisfied.
Wow.
Every shape, every hair color, whatever. Ever since I stopped worrying about it, plus urine therapy 3 years back, I stopped thinking about it. During the dry fasts, I lost 13, 15 kilos. I was like 49 kilos. And then you spoke to me. Once you stop weighting yourself and worrying about the shape backwards, like being too skinny and worrying about, just being a skeleton, it stopped because
Yeah.
it's all mental. And this is what I'm experiencing here. I am feeling that I'm actually gaining weight now, finally. So I was like 55, 56 kilos. I can't tell you, you have a different measurements, but still very slim for Czech Republic because we are nice, huge people here. And now at my mom's place, I'm feeling, oh my God, I'm becoming stronger, not stronger, but like round shaped, rounded, and I like it. And this is why I'm realizing that food has got nothing to do with it, I think. It's
Wow.
Food can stop the energy flowing. It can dumb you down, but it really is all mental and spiritual. So it's you can gain weight from the mist in the morning, from some you know it, and you can lose weight by eating very much. I was all my life they called me a wolf because I've been eating so much, being always skinny. And that's why I realized in a very young age that food has got nothing to do with it. It's just the approach and the thoughts you have towards it. If you say, if I eat this, I'm gonna be fat. I see
Mm,
it. My mom has some. She is nice. She's beautiful, but she has a problem with food. She
mm.
that she's going to gain weight and she is hiding eating even before her. She is like eating, just putting things in the mouth. She doesn't sit and enjoy the food. She is lying to herself about not eating certain things and eating them at night. It's a mental thing. It really is. So if somebody is eating loads of food and they say, no, it's doing me good, I'm fine with it, they can remain, they just can be slim all their lives. You can see it all over the world. So it's just the way you think about it. And sometimes you can be breatharian and you can be so messed up here, and it is not good, doing you any good. You are not in harmony. It's real. The food is one part of it, but it's mostly just getting reprogrammed and nice and clean here. And this
And
is just, yeah.
and
It,
what's an example of that too, Renata, where you say that, someone seem some way on the outside, but then when you see on the inside, the inside is like turmoil. There's a tornado going on inside.
mhm.
What's an
um,
disconnect where you've seen that?
what are you asking me? I didn't hear you properly for a
Yeah.
while.
What's an example you have of that disconnect where even if something appears to be some way on the outside, that there's actually a lot different going on in the inside?
Uh, well, you can, once you, also, before answering this question, also when you eat dense foods, and all this new age thing is talking about frequencies. It's not true that we always have to be high frequencies, like the highest version of yourself. It all gets mixed together, and it's not something bad to experience frequencies. It's like radio stations, and
Right.
you have to be afraid of being dense. This is a new, it seems like fashion to me that everybody wants to be always just high frequency and light and those realms. And I don't think it's healthy, especially for
Mm.
the people who never experienced the low densities. It's not
Yes.
all. You
Yes.
just like cut certain chakras and you live one frequency only. Not even it's not healthy, but it can be very damaging and dangerous because it's a process and everybody is different. Even this thing like becoming breatharian is now an aim for so many people, and we can find people dead on a bathroom floors, young people who just try to do dry fast and killing themselves. You really have to understand and understand whatever you want to call it, that everybody is here for a certain mission. Every incarnation has a different purpose. We have been programmed that we are all the same, on the same level, on the same frequency. But as the souls are experiencing something for a reason, somebody has to be dense. Somebody has to have to master the densities. Just please listen the body. The body is really intelligent. You don't need and have to be breatharian to be perfect. This is not just If your body feels better straight away, and if you feel that you feel energized and it's your inner calling, it's fine. But if it's a challenge for you and you feel bad about not being able not to eat, it's wrong for you. Just because the body can really um, bear a lot.
Mm.
It really can, and it can get rid of substances in the world very quickly. So please follow your own path and incarnation. Respect what the body is telling you. Try certain foods for long period of times. Experiment with it, but don't think that somebody else's path can inspire you. Please listen firstly
Right.
your
This is
body, not mind, but the body. Try it. How do you feel? Does it give you any satisfaction? Do you feel better? Try it for 3 months without certain food. Then repeat. Try something different. But listen to your body because everybody has a different. You have been here for 1,000 times, maybe the other for 5 times only. And you have to go through all the densities. And maybe in this life you can play with it. You don't have to be afraid of the food. You just play with it and go back. It's such a fashion that is killing people because it's called New Age, and they just find a guru that they think is for them, and they don't follow their path. They just follow somebody else's path. So please be careful.
Yeah, the whole comparison game, that's a big one. I'll never forget someone told me, one of my greatest friends, they told me, Renata, that comparison is the thief of all joy. It robs us. When we try to compare ourselves to the next person and the next person and say that my chapter 1 needs to look like chapter 10 or her chapter 20, and we're comparing ourselves to other people's path, to other journey, which is not in respect to ourself, in respect to our body, in respect to our, feelings. So thank you for that message on listening to your own body, listening to your own heart, and not trying to cut off chakras or cut off feelings or cut off even the low frequency states. And that's more holistic, you know, feeling it all, feeling everything there is to feel. So thank you for this. Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome. Everybody else's path is always a step backwards. You can be inspired, but through your own lenses. Never take anybody else's path because it's not your path. You are unique and you have a different purpose. And that's why we need to understand the purpose. And the purpose is not what you see in Hollywood to become someone, just to be the way you are and to discover you. And then we can make it all together. We can be complete as one organism with the stones, with the nature, because we are part of it. And play your role, which is not playing, but being you. And trying to find harmony. Because, what if you feel good doing this or that, do it. No, he doesn't do it. He says it's bad. No, nobody can tell you what is bad for you. Not even your parents, not even your own self. Just now, here and now, choose what is good for you. And if after a certain period of time you find out that it has not been so good, change it. Don't be afraid to change it. Don't get stuck with one idea. Don't repeat something that doesn't serve you anymore, and learn from that experience. You cannot learn from other people's experiences because they have a different purpose here. You are here on purpose, and everybody is so unique and special. There is not a single life wasted. And if you are alive, that's enough. That's your purpose.
I agree. In this symphony, like, if this is a symphony or an orchestra, of music, of instruments, and we're all playing together, we find harmony somewhere. We find
Yes,
melody somewhere. You know, there's a way that we can all play, even if we sound different. We can blend. We can, you know, we can combine. We can collaborate. It doesn't always have to be competition. You know, us and them. It could be with both and.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in tune, when you're tuning yourself the best way you know how, you make music. You know, like I feel like we're making music together right now. You know, to the symphony, to the orchestra, right? Like, what is it? A trombone, not the same as a flute. You know,
Exactly.
saxophone is not the same as percussion. You know, but there's timing, there's rhythm, there's
Yeah.
music, and so it can sound so beautiful together. So thank you, just thank you for these messages because we needed this, and it seems like you know folks are in agreement. You know,
Yes,
yeah,
the triangle is not the same as a violin, and the
right,
violin playing all the way through and being sweating and doing all the notes, and then the triangle comes twice doing just
yeah,
and he all the show and he completes the whole thing. And without the one note that somebody might experience one point at their life, like one highlight, that's enough for
yeah.
creating a move of the whole universe. So
That's an
somebody is sweating and working on life and just taking challenges every day and be very active and very whatever they do, very productive, and the triangle is there waiting and then doing and the whole harmony and
yeah.
elevating the others, because the violin is just like some sound, random sound, so many notes, so many fatigue, so much fatigue and training. But the triangle is the most important thing to complete the aliquot notes and just to pass the message. And if
Hmm.
they forget, which happens very often when you play live music, it's like, oh my God, I
So,
fell asleep.
so you know, before we
Where
leave,
triangles?
so I want to ask you before we leave here, what do you feel like in life? You know, if in the orchestra of life, what is your triangle?
What instrument do I feel?
What is your triangle? What is your triangle in
Ah,
life?
I think it's coming. I have not played yet. That's what I feel. Because
Okay.
nobody ever heard my real music. I think it's coming. I feel going towards it. How about you?
You know, I feel like when I think of a triangle and that ding, you know, I think of an epiphany. I think of a sudden realization. I think of a spark of brilliance, a spark of genius, you know, a spark of insight. And I feel like there are multiple triangles in my
Uh-huh.
life.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I'm at this point in my life, and then boom, there's another triangle. And then I'll get to this point in my life in my understanding or understanding, as you said, and then boom, there's another triangle, you
Yes.
know, and it's like, ah, you know, more opens up. So yeah, it's beautiful.
And
It's beautiful.
before we leave, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. There is a message. How are you, dear? We are fine. Thank you. Masudrana 1279. Thank you. I don't know if you're still here, but that was the message which was pinned here. Yes, so
Thank,
beautiful. Yeah, thank
thank
you.
you.
And take care, everybody. Go, meet your families. You never know how long time your parents are going to be here. And I think that we elevated and we have so much to give our families, our blood families, whatever state we left them in. And I find it very, very beautiful to be with my family. And I was postponing it. I didn't feel like going here, coming to be with them. I thought it's gonna be always the same thing, and I didn't even want to see them, and I was being stupid, and it's beautiful. I appreciate them so much. It was me thinking. Don't think and be.
It is. There it is. So till the next time, Renáta, till next time.
Next time. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing the space. I love you. I love you all. And speak to you soon. Bye.